This is the Entertainment Roundup for January 10th, 2013. The first Entertainment Roundup for the new year. And a little bit ahead of schedule because I wasn't planning to do an Entertainment Roundup until after the Academy Awards present their nominations for the 2012 season. Unfortunately, I did not realize they was doing it early this year. They actually did it 1 week ahead of the Golden Globes, which have yet to give their trophies. In fact, their trophies will be given out later on this weekend on the 13th of January. And so it pretty much moved my schedule up a little bit to talk about the films that have been nominated in the Academy. And get to talk about some of the people's disapproval of some of the movies that didn't make the list. I will say this about this. There's going to be a lot of things about this category that many people will disagree with, and that's fine. There's a lot of films that was snubbed, and there were a lot of actors that was snubbed. There was a lot of directors that didn't make the cut. One of them especially, which I do not agree with at all, songs and animation films that didn't make the cut. There was history made in terms of people getting nominated. I will talk about that as well. But most importantly, the overall feeling, the overall criticism and feedback on certain films versus the constant argument that the Academy Awards or the committee who runs the Academy Award is out of touch with the people who goes to see these movies, and how they constantly nominate films that no one really sees or care to see or have any interest of seeing. These films don't make money. Most of the time the film that gets nominated are not major blockbuster success, and these are the films that people cannot relate to because they don't go and see these films. They're not like the films, say, like Inception, which, by the way, was nominated for Best Picture, but you also have others that are saying that films like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World should have been amongst that, Tron should have been amongst that, and these are the films that seem to get thrown off towards films that are more either art house material or just more drama based. And these are legitimate arguments when it comes to how the Academy, the committee in the Academy, votes and nominates these films. Yet I have to say this, and I'm saying this just to be direct and straight to the point here. The Academy never had and never will. No matter how much they are trying to put some films based on popularity, some films that we all seen, action films or whatnot, the Academy will never move away from making their show a popularity contest. This is a conservative award show. They always have been and always will be, unless some major situation comes up where they're forced to change their format. They will never change on what films they are categorized. This year is no exception. A lot of these films are pretty much either art house films that had a very strong impact in the culture and how people view the films, or very strong drama films. And to what I see in the list, most of the films I've seen here do deserve to be in here. I'm not even going to lie about that. With that being said, no one should be surprised at all. I wasn't surprised at all that Skyfall or Dark Knight Rises was not nominated. And I'm being honest with you, if you want me to go further, I didn't even think none of them should be nominated. I thought Dark Knight Rises and Skyfall were great films. I didn't think it was great enough to be Best Pictures. But at the same time, do I think Lincoln should have been in that category? Do I think Les Mis should have been in that category? We can seriously make an argument that maybe they don't deserve to be there. They're there. They're in the Best Picture category. But were they Best Pictures in terms of fans' approval? Many people didn't think Les Mis was that a great of a movie. Many people thought Lincoln was a bit overrated. Many people definitely have their disagreement with Django Unchained. And yet, those are the films that's been nominated for Best Picture. Many for different reasons, of course, but they're there, and they pretty much have higher dibs than those that many fans seem to like, many fans seem to keep going back to. But like I said, it's not just a fan appreciation. They are never going to go with the popularity contest, and that's fine. I have no problem with the Academy Award or the Golden Globes for that matter, to do their own thing when it comes to nominating their awards. Mind you, the Oscars, at all, it is like considered the Super Bowl of all awards. It's not the only one in town. There are other awards out there. There's the People's Guilds Award, the Screenwriters Guilds Award. I'm sorry, the Critics Award, the Golden Globes Awards, the Independent Film Award. There's so many awards shows out there that to say that the Oscars is the only one, that's not simply true anymore. And let's be honest, there are some awards, like especially the MTV Award, they are looser and made with the audience in mind. Those are the ones that vote in. The same thing with the YouTube Review Awards, and I think that's actually a pretty good one because you're getting films that many people see, many people have loved, and they will have a chance to get nominated for Best Picture or Best Actors. In fact, they got a Batman, The Dark Knight Rises, and Skyfall have a 10 times better shot of getting nominated for the U Review Awards than they would with the Oscars, and they probably will get nominated for the U Reviewers Awards. But the point I'm trying to say is that each award do things differently, and for the Academy, there'll always be that conservative award show. Now that doesn't mean they're immune to criticism. There's a lot of things about the Oscars and that community that I simply do not like. And that goes all the way back to some of the stuff they have pulled. And the one thing I will say is there's too many people have too many influence in how these awards should be presented. When you have producers and companies throwing influences at the committee to vote one way or another, that's not always a good sign. When you have the situation with Zero Dark 30 and how this film may be shined away from getting any awards, not because that is a bad movie or a great movie, but because you have politicians from both sides, both Democrat and Republicans, as well as the CIA voicing their disapproval and criticism how this film, how they betrayed certain situation in films. That is not a good thing. When you have nominated a film and yet you openly admitted that you didn't even see that film, yet you nominated it anyway, that's not a good thing. So there's a lot of things I have a very serious beef about with the Academy, and it all stressed to their voting policies, their policies, and how they present the films, as well as the policy of nominating overall movies not because they're good or bad, because they know this dude and this guy and they're good friend with this guy, and they basically did a little bit, I would say, a little pat on the shoulder, say put my film up there, put it up there, and that's how it happens. Also, I want to keep in mind of one thing that I think a lot of people also miss the point. A lot of these movies are presented to the Academy, and most of the time, if your studios, if the company don't present these films, sometimes their films don't get recognized. So that also plays a part on that as well. So don't just assume that if you don't see the film, that's because the Academy Awards didn't be nominated. It's because most likely that the company didn't push for that film to be nominated for anything. So that also plays a very strong part in it. So a lot of things go into the stuff, both good and bad, for why films are nominated and why films aren't. But make no mistake about it, there is a big issue when it comes to these award ceremonies. Even the Golden Globes is not immune from it. A lot of these award shows not immune for it. But to me, to say that it should be turned into where the people, I don't see that's the right thing to go. I just think they need to fix their policies and make sure if you're going to nominate this film, fine, but it has to be a reason why this film is the best of the best. And that's my big issue is you should have a community that watches these movies, have watched every film, and have this community vote for the best films. If you're gonna have a top 9 or 10, which to me personally, should have a 10. Make sure it's the 10 of the best films that came out that year. And for the last few years, to this credit, they have done that. I didn't really know complaints about a lot of the films that was nominated last year, nor the year after that. I thought that a lot of the films they nominated deserved to be nominated. I do have a beef with the King's Speech winning Best Picture because I did not think it was better at all than the other three films that was up against. The other 3 out of 9, I didn't think it was better than Social Network. I did not think it was better than Inception, and I damn sure didn't think it was better than True Grit. But apparently that was an award film that the Academy Awards always feel comfortable with, and to me, once that won Best Picture, I pretty much knew that any chance for a film like Inception or any other film winning an award against other films like that was highly unlikely. It has to have pretty much no direct competition. It has to be like Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King, where it was pretty much expected to sweep the awards, which it has done. And a lot of people had a lot of beef with that, but it was actually predictable. That was how uninspired that award ceremony was that year. We can make a case whether or not The Lord of the Ring, The Return of the King deserved to win for Best Picture that year. I'm sure a lot of people like to debate that, but you get what I'm getting at. It pretty much for a film like Inception, Dark Knight, there has to be a clear-cut case that there's no other good film out there. There's no other better film out there for that to win. I think The King's Speech proven that. And even with that being said, there was clearly a lot of film that was better than that. As for my feeling on the artists winning, I thought they deserved to win. I have no problem with that. But you could easily make a question that The Descent should have won that year. You can make a lot of Descent, a lot of films should have won that year. But to me, again, this is the artist. In my own opinion, was a great film, was one of the best films of that year. But I also knew it was going to win for Best Picture because it's definitely something that the Academy Awards would easily nominate, hands down. And that's the main issue here. You can see just by the way the film is, just by the way the film looks, just by the way the film's theme and premises, you can tell that this film, there's almost no possible way this film was not going to win that year. And does it deserve to win that year? Yeah, it did. I mean, there's no question about it. I was very comfortable with the victory, but I would have been comfortable with the Descent would have won as well. So it goes to, without saying, this year it is pretty much open in the air. There's a lot of films that was nominated for Best Picture. There's one film I'm actually rooting for because I think this film definitely shocked the hell out of a lot of people. So obviously you guys know where I'm coming from with that. But this is a year where this is going to be an open. It's going to be pretty much open for any film to grab that trophy for Best Picture. There are actually surprisingly 3 films I think that is definitely worthy of that trophy, but I'm actually rooting for one. But I wouldn't be upset if the other 2 films win. I will get to those 2 films because I'm going from bottom to top. That's the best way of coming from it. I just give my overall impression of the award ceremony as I continue going along. But I hope I made it very clear why I felt that the Academy Awards will pretty much never be a popularity contest because they don't want to be. They're going to be conservative. They always have been conservative and always will be conservative. That doesn't mean they will make mistakes. It doesn't mean that there will be something there that not only question the integrity, not only by the moviegoers, but even the critics. This happened before. Hoop Dreams, I mentioned this in a review of my of this movie, was one of the best documentaries, if not the best documentary I have seen in a long, long time. There was no critic at that time when this film was released, this documentary was released, that said any ill will about this. This was one of the best documentaries. Word of mouth traveled quickly. The fans of movies, those who haven't even seen documentaries, went to see this film and they was amazed. I, who was not that big of documentaries, I saw this film And normally, I get my usual popcorn and soda, and I sit down and eat my popcorn, drink my soda while the movie come in. I'm gonna tell you right now, my soda went flat. I still left there with a full tank of popcorn. That's how engaging this film was. I was glued to the screen. I was at awe of seeing these two amazing characters grow up in front of me and go through the struggles of trying to make pro, and the stuff they have to go through to try and pursue a basketball career. It was amazing. It was awesome. And this was should have been a shoe-in to win best documentary, and it got ripped off. It didn't even made the list. And Cisco and Ebert led the charge, in my opinion, of bringing this to attention of a lot of people. And it turns out that this film was purposely left off by certain people who had too much influence. Again, key word, too much influence, making sure that film was never nominated, and that pretty much ruined, in my opinion, the credibility of the Academy Awards. So don't think that I'm just sticking up for the Academy Awards. I think there's a lot of stuff they need to improve on, especially when it comes to awards like this, because you never want to have your credibility questioned. And after that, I question the awards ever since then, because when you have people who are that crooked that they will purposely remove a film because they got it from the grapevine that it's guaranteed to be a win, and when you have critics even saying that, hey, look, there were 5 of the films that you guys nominated and none of them came close to Hoop Dreams, and your excuses were, well, it was too long, and yet it wins for best editing, that's the problem. And they finally had to admit about that, and they made some changes. But does that mean that kind of influence doesn't still go on in the Academy Awards? Of course it does. It goes on in every award, to be honest with you. It's just a matter of how much does it really affects the award ceremony to how much degree. Sometimes it gets affected a lot more than others. Last year, I was very angry at the original song because we only had 2 nominated. How's that possible? You're telling me that there's no other films you guys have not seen that actually had better songs? You mean to tell me the Golden Globes just miraculously had more songs to be nominated in their category than you guys have? That's ridiculous. It's also called laziness. Watch these films. Judge these films right. And that's my opinion. And again, the main reason why they won't go with the popularity awards, because you have films like Twilight, and you have films like probably Vampire Diaries or other films out there. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but you get what I'm getting. You'll probably have films that no way should be even near the list of Best Pictures being nominated for Best Pictures and Best Actors, and that's something they simply do not want. They will not want those films to ever mix into it, especially when they know they don't deserve it. And I have to agree, that's not that kind of award. MTV, I don't mind them nominating films like that. Again, that's the audience pick. You may not like it, but that's their pick. And you know what? God bless them. That's their award, so let them have it. I have no problem with them picking the way they do. I have no problem with Twilight winning. That's the fans voting. The fans voted Twilight in. That's fine. I'm not going to go against that. But But that's the main reason why you really don't want the Academy Awards to go with the popularity vote. Sometimes it's not always a good thing, and you may have films that actually do deserve to be in there not be in there in favor of a film that, although was made a good popcorn film, is not a good movie to begin with. That's just how it is. With that being said, the overall, my own feeling about this, it's okay. I didn't have no problem with it. I think the awards was justified here. There are some categories that I'm very stunned that people didn't get nominated in. There actually one that I'm just gonna have a very few minutes to talk about. But overall, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty okay. So let's start off with from least to most, heading right straight to Best Picture. So I'm gonna say right now, Best Live Action Short. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Anstad, the Brusacata Boys, Curfew, Death of a Shadow, and Henry. I'm just gonna read up the nominations. We also have Best Animation Short, Adam and Dog, uh, Frisch, Grotamo, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, Head Over Heels, uh, Paperman, I believe, and The Simpsons, the longest daycare, which I think that was actually a short in a movie. I'm not remembering what that was, but I think it's a short from a movie. So The Simpsons got nominated. That's interesting. And I know the people at Fox and those who work with The Simpsons are pretty happy with that. We have Best Documentary. Surprisingly, only one documentary I heard about, King's Point. We have In Centrance Monday at Rich Recline, Open Heart, and Redemption. I'm a little surprised that Kingdom of Brooklyn didn't make it in here. If anybody don't know, it was about it's a pretty unique story about a Brooklyn school in a chess match, which I'm not surprised. I'm a little surprised it didn't make it in here. Best documentary feature. Best documentary feature: Searching for Sugar Man, How to Survive a Plague, A Broken Camera, The Invisible War, which I heard great deals of, The Gatekeeper. So those are the films that's nominated for Best Documentary. Best Foreign Language in the Picture, The Royal Affair, or more. We also have No 2013. We have Kontatai and War Witch. So those are the films that's nominated for Best Foreign Language. I'm gonna go with a more on that one. For some reason I don't understand. I think that film's gonna take that. We have Best Animated Feature, and this one I'm actually kind of curious. Most of the animated feature that was in here, with exception of one, which I'm not surprised, got nominated. So no surprises here. There is one that I didn't think it was gonna make it, but it made it anyway. There's a lot of animation films that's nominated this year. Actually, pretty much a lot. 5. Brave got nominated. Wreck-It Ralph got nominated. Paranormal got nominated. Frankenweenie got nominated. And a film that I thought everybody forgot. I did not think this film was going to make it. The Pirates, The Band of Misfits. This film got a very high acclaim, but didn't do well at the box office at all. It didn't even last long in theaters in the U.S. And it made it. It made the list. The film that didn't make the list, surprisingly, it is actually nominated for Golden Globe, is Hotel Transylvania. Hotel Transylvania is actually one of Adam Sandler's better films. Surprisingly enough, when it comes to animation, he actually does better with animation than he does with his recent films combined, especially the last 2 films he have came out over the years. But it didn't make the list. And surprisingly, I don't have much of a problem with this list. I don't think Brave is the weakest of the bunch. I think Wreck-It Ralph, probably much by popularity, is the strongest. But I gotta tell you, this is gonna be interesting because you can tell from Wreck-It Ralph, Paranormal, Frankenweenie, and Pirates, especially Pirates. Those films, you can make a case that all 3 of them can easily walk away with a trophy. I know a lot of people, though, especially if they're gamers, are hoping and going to be praying for Wreck-It Ralph to win for Best Film. Because that's a film, I'm going to be honest with you, I did not expect good things to come out of this movie. And man, it did surprise a lot of people. A lot of people love this film. So I'm hopefully... So I know a lot of people's going to be rooting for that. But I don't think people's going to be too upset if Paranorman or Frankenweenie or even Pirates, Band of Mischief also takes it. Brave, I'm not saying it's a bad film. Let me get that clear right now. I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's not Cars 2, okay? Nowhere near Cars 2. I don't think it's going to win because although it's a good story, it's a story that's been done already to a certain degree. So I think it's the wink length. I think it's going to be out. But the fact it got nominated, I'm not mad. It's very, very interesting. A lot of people say, oh, it shouldn't be nominated. I disagree a little bit. It definitely did enough to get there. Like I said, there's a lot of films out here. I'm a little bit surprised because normally they get 3, no more than 4. We got 5, so it's satisfactory at least. So best animation feature, for the most part, the film that got nominated deserved it, no question about it. Best original score. Oh my God! You know what? I'm gonna have fun with this because I'm gonna leave the first category last because this is the one that a lot of people disagree with me with. It was all fun. I have no problem with that. But believe me when I say it, when they see this, they're gonna be very, very upset. Believe me, trust me. The first one, Chasing Ice, Before My Time. I believe the person who wrote that was J. Ralph. Life of Pi, Pi Lullaby. I believe his name is Michael Dana Bombay Jursan. He was the one who wrote it. Les Mis. I'm not surprised Les Mis is in here. I would have been shocked if it's not in here. But suddenly, I can't even pronounce. I'm not even gonna try. But I know it's suddenly. There's a lot of people who wrote this song. I'm just gonna. There's a whole list of people: Clyde Mitchell, Stumbert, Hubert Kramer, I believe, and Alan, whose last name I can't pronounce. I apologize, but I just can't pronounce your name. Better not say it than, get it wrong. Ted surprisingly is in this. Everybody Needs a Best Friend. Walter Murphy, Sif McFarlane as the one who wrote that. And what is the song that everybody seems to not like too much? That I know is gonna piss off a lot of people, especially who's James Bond fans. Skyfall. Adele is nominated for Best Original Score. I believe this is the third James Bond theme song that was nominated. I think Live and Let Die and Nobody Does It Better. If you want to count the Casino Royale from 1969, I believe, 1969, 1970, that's fine. I know that was the only thing that was salvageable from that entire disastrous film they made. But in terms of the original timeline of James Bond, this is the third time a James Bond score, original song, has been nominated. And man, oh man, oh man. The reason why I'm actually smiling, because I actually am smiling about this, is because I made a blog on this song. I actually love this song. Surprisingly enough, not many people like this song. A lot of people really hate this song. I mean, it was like, it was a weird reaction to it. And it's all fun and games. Everybody's entitled to their own feedback. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And, I respect the hell out of everybody, especially Mad Expression, because they're the ones who really say, all right, this song sucks. It's no action-packed. I like the song for one reason. It really, because let's be honest, I needed a song like this, especially after the last couple of James Bond theme songs that we had. I think the worst of the worst is still considered to be Die Another Day. Man, I feel kind of bad for that soundtrack. I really do. And honestly, it really was out of place. I'm not going to say that Madonna didn't do any justice by the score. I actually like the beat. It's just the lyrics was just, it didn't even sound like it belonged in a James Bond movie. As for You Know My Name, I liked it. It was good. It was great. I don't think it was special. It took me a long, long time to get used to it. But Quantum of Solace is a weird one. I mean, I liked the beat, didn't like the lyrics because Alicia Keys and Jack White kept bumping into each other, and it made the song a lot worse than what it needed to be or what it should have been. Adele's song was simple. It was nicely pasted. I liked it, what it represent. And to me, when I saw the movie, the song matched well with the overall feeling of what the film. It gave you what you should expect from this movie, and it didn't disappoint. Overall, I don't have a clue who's gonna win this. My heart said Skyfall. That's just because I like this song very well. But I wouldn't be shocked if Les Mis or Ted takes it. I just won't. I think they're definitely something that the Academy Awards may look at first before they look at Skyfall. But if it does win, I will tell you this: if Skyfall does win, it will probably be the first song ever to win for in the James Bond series to win for Best Original Score in the Academy Awards, because Nobody Does It Better didn't do it. Live and Let Die didn't do it. If this one does it, it'll be pretty much historical for the franchise. But man, it's gonna piss up a lot of people who hate that song even more. So I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on this one. I really will. I'm kind of curious of what my friends at Mad Expression feels about this. If they're listening to this audio right now, I know they're not gonna be too happy to hear that Skyfall. Actually, it's gonna pull it off. Oh man, oh man, oh man. All right, I wasted enough time with this song. Let's go to the score. Uh, Again, Skyfall in there, and this is the time where I say that Skyfall don't deserve to win for original score. Not to take anything from Thomas Newman, I thought the score was fine. It's just nothing memorable. I don't really have much good memory of that score. Not as much as David Arnold's betrayal of the Bond series when he had it from Tomorrow Never Dies all the way to Quantum. I think he had a better staying power. Tom Newman, he did okay, but it's not something I write home about. John Williams, no surprise there. He is in the nomination again. I've come to expect him to be there. Every time he makes a movie or a score, he's definitely going to be in it, so I'm not really surprised. You also have Life of Pi. You have Etta Kendricks is also in this. Argo. I will look at the other four. I won't look at Skyfall to win for Best Original Score. I will look at Argo. I'll look at Lincoln. I'll look at Life of Pi. I think those are the top three films that's going to duke it out. If you want my opinion, I think Life of Pi will definitely do it. I think Life of Pi will have more strength to win that. Then you follow with Argo. Then you probably follow with Lincoln. Obviously, the weakest one is Skyfall and Kendra. Definitely the second weakest. I just think that the other three films I mentioned has more of a staying power, and I think those are the ones that will definitely come on top. Best sound editing, I'm just going to go briefly to this. Best sound editing, Skyfall is nominated, Django Unchained, Argo, Life of Pi, Zero Dark 30. I'm going to be very much tossed up between Django Unchained and Zero Dark 30. I think Argo is going to be in third. Again, I don't see Skyfall winning it, although it would shock me if they do. They did have good sound editing, but I don't think it's that strong against the other films. I think they just had better ones. Best sound or best sound mixing, I believe that's what that is, because it doesn't say what it is, but I'm pretty sure that's sound mixing. Skyfall, Lincoln, Argo, Les Mis, and Life of Pi. I'm going to go with Les Mis. Normally when you have best sound editing, you have best sound mixing to be involved with that as well. But I think Les Mis is definitely the one that probably will win. Best visual, Marvel's The Avengers, and this is the films that a lot of people, the awards that you normally I'll give to films that are not going to be up in the high ranks, but didn't have enough to dazzle us with visual effects. The Avengers, The Habit, Unexpected Journey, Snow White and the Hunchman, they actually got nominated. Prometheus got nominated, and Life of Pi. If I'm a gambling man, I will have to go with the most effects. I'm not looking at Life of Pi. I'm not even looking at Snow White and the Hunchman. I'm looking at the Prometheus. I'm looking at The Habit. I'm looking at The Avengers. I think The Habit will take it. I really do. When I've seen the movie, I think there's no reason why they can't. I think Prometheus will be a close second, followed by Marvel's The Avengers. But I think The Habit will take it. I think they have the best visual effects on all the selections. Let's go move on with best makeup. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna give it to Hitchcock, because I did not recognize that actor at all. I'm looking at him and saying, really? Hitchcock? That's Hawkins? Really? I didn't even recognize him. But wouldn't be surprised if The Habit takes it. It wouldn't even surprise me at Les Mis. And keep in mind, those are the only three that's nominated. So your choices are very minimum. But I'm going to go with Hitchcock on that one. But it wouldn't surprise me if Les Mis and The Habit takes it as well. Best costume design. A little bit shocked here that Mirror got nominated. I almost forgot they was actually it was released. Anaconda, Les Mis, Lincoln, Snow White, and The Hunchman. A lot of Victorian drama films here, guys. I'm not even thinking about Mirror. I will say it will be between Les Mis and Anna Kendra. If I'm a betting man, I'll say Les Mis will take it. I think that's the biggest thing. I think Les Mis will definitely take it. I think Kendra will be the second, followed by Lincoln, and then you have the Henchman. I have no hopes of them winning it. Same thing with Mirror Mirror. I think the two Snow White films will be the odd ones out. But I do think that the strongest one is Les Mis, followed by Anna Kendra, and followed by Lincoln. Best Art Director. Interesting choice here. We have The Habit, Unexpected Journey, Lincoln, Les Mis, Life of Pi, and Akandra. I must pick Les Mis again. I think Les Mis will definitely win in that category. Most of the stuff that had to do with design and artwork, I'm pretty sure that Les Mis will definitely take it. But it won't shock me if Life of Pi become a very close second, Anacandra third, Lincoln fourth. Unexpected Journey will be pretty much the fifth, but not much a far distance fifth. So this is pretty much a toss-up. I will give it to Les Mis on that category. Best Cinematography. Now this is the one where this is the one that I'm not surprised that Skyfall was nominated. And this is the one where I think they have a very, very strong chance to win it. The cinematography of Skyfall was excellent in this film. It was beautifully written, really done, beautifully shot. So I definitely see that winning for best cinematography. But it will not shock me if Django Unchained also wins it. It doesn't also shock me if Life of Pi also wins it, because Life of Pi was wonderfully done, especially with the way that film was shot. So this is a very, very tight race. So none of these films, it's very, very close. I will have to say, for the most part, I'm going to stick with Skyfall on this one. I do think they have a chance to win it. But it will not upset me, it will not disappoint me if I feel that Life of Pi is going to win it. It doesn't upset me if even Django Unchained win it. And it definitely would not upset me if Lincoln win it or Anna Kendra win it. I don't think that these films are out of that category, not at least. But I'm going to stick with Skyfall just on this category. I could be wrong. Best editing. This is something I don't really care too much about. Not at least in this kind of category at least. But Lincoln, Argo, Life of Pi, Civil Lines Playbook, Zero Dark 30, all been nominated for that. I pretty much will take a guess. I'm gonna pick Civil Lines Playbook, but that's just my toss up. You guys will choose your own. If you want me to be honest, I think that Civil Lines Playbook will become one, but Life of Pi is definitely wouldn't shock me if they win it. Argo followed number 3, Lincoln 4, Zero Dark 35. Best Adapted Screenplay. Now this is the one where I actually will get into now. This is the big nitty gritty here. We're getting closer and closer to the nitty gritty. So let's get down to the stories here. The nominees are Lincoln, Argo, Life of Pi, Civil Lines Playbook, Beast of Certain Wild. You have possibly a very good lineup of movies nominated here. Lincoln, there's a lot of talk about Lincoln winning it. There's a lot of talk about Argo winning it. A lot of talk about Civil Lines Playbook. And there's definitely a lot of talk of the Beast of Certain Wild. I'm going to take a gamble here, and I say Argo's going to win it. I think Argo will win this. I think Life of Pi is second, Lincoln third, Civil Lines Playbook's fourth, Beast of Certain Wild is fifth. But I think Argo will win it. If not, wouldn't shock me if Life of Pi wins it. But I think Argo will pull out in the end. Best Original Screenplay: Django Unchained, Flight, Moonraker's Kingdom, which I'm a little surprised, Moonrise Kingdom, which I'm a little surprised they didn't get nominated for a lot more than what it's already been nominated for. Zero Dark 30, and Amor. I'm going with Zero Dark 30 on this one. I think that's definitely a film that deserves it. I also will go Crazy Memorial will win it as number 2. I will also say Moonrise Kingdom is number 3. Django's number 4. And Flight is number 5. I don't think Flight is a strong enough category. I'm actually surprised it was nominated at all. and that alone, a best original screenplay. But that's my opinion. I'll leave for another day. Best supporting actor: Sally Fields, Anne Hathaway, um, Jackie Weaver, I believe, Amy Adams, and Helen Hunt all made the list. Sally Field for Lincoln, Anne Hathaway, Les Mis, Silver Lion Playbook, of course, Jackie Weaver. We also have Amy Adams for The Master, another movie which I'm a little surprised that got less nominations than what it deserves, and Helen Hunt in The Session. Just gonna throw it out there. If Sally Field doesn't win it, Anne Hathaway will. I think that her performance in Les Mis was fantastic. It definitely screamed best supporting actor nod. Sally Field the same way. It wouldn't surprise me if both of these women you receive duke it out. But the Masters, I'm not taking anything away from that. Amy Adams definitely have done a great job performing. Helen Hunt as well. I think the weakest is Silver Linings Playbook in this one, but it wouldn't shock me if either Sally Field or Anne Hathaway wins it. I'm actually going to be, if you want me to be a gambling man, I think Anne Hathaway will pull it off. But that all depends on what the Oscars thinks in terms of the voting. Best Supporting Actor: Tommy Lee Jones, Lincoln, Django Unchained, Christopher Watts, Argo, Alan Atkins, Robert De Niro of Silver Linings Playbook, as the Master, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Very, very all well-known actors, very well Oscar-worthy actors. Jesus, man, oh man, oh man. I'm gonna give it to Django in this one. I think Django definitely will win this one. But I would not take anything away from the Civil Linings Playbook in terms of Robert De Niro or Oracle, Alan Atkins. I think those two will definitely are deserving of the same award. It wouldn't shock me if those two actually, one of those two actually win it over Django Unchained. But I am going to go with Django Unchained on this one. I just think that his performance was just a little bit better, especially a movie that is, how can I say, unique. Best Actress: Silver Linings Playbook, Jennifer Lawrence. Beast of a Certain Wild. I can't even pronounce this girl's name. And I'm going to stop on this for now because it's something I want to bring up. Zero Dark 30, Jessica Christie. Naomi Watts for The Impossible. Amor. Another woman I can't pronounce the name. I'll say Miss River, I believe her name is. Her first name is uniquely big, and I'm not going to try and disrespect her by announcing her name wrong. But Amal is also nominated. Now, I'll say this right now. From the list here, I think it's going to be between Zero Dark 30 and Civil Linings Playbook. I think Zero Dark 30 will eventually squeak by it. Jennifer Lawrence is she's a great actress. No doubt she was great in Civil Linings Playbook. But I think that Zero Dark 30 is a much better film. And Jessica Christie had a very has done a better job in that film than Jennifer Lawrence did in Civil Linings Playbook. Not to say they were bad, but I just think that her performance is better. Now, the reason why I haven't mentioned Beast of a Certain Wild is very simple. I think you got to see this film. This film is well done, well written, well directed, and deserves every last nomination it gets. I'm just throwing it out there right now. The girl who played in this has made history. She's the youngest person ever, the youngest actress ever to be nominated for Best Actress. Not even the girl, I believe Haley Steinfeld, I believe, who was in True Grit, ever got that. She got Best Supporting Actress, but never got the Best Actress award. She was never nominated for Best Actress. She was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and everybody was mad as hell because they know that the girl from True Grit carried that film. They know that she was the film, and this is the same thing. Only this time, she was the main vital focus, and you really follow this girl from beginning to end. And in my opinion, it was well shot, well done. And I am very happy they have nominated her for Best Picture, and she deserved to be nominated. Just having her name on that list is something that I was very stunned, and very, very happy they did. With that being said, I said this before with the most of the young actress who's been nominated in these awards for many years. and I don't see them changing now. I don't see her winning this award. If she wins this Academy Award, I will be shocked because the Academy never gives this award to a young actress. Never, especially children actresses. The child actress, they never gave this award. And I talked to a lot of people about this. I know even some of the famous YouTube reviewers have mentioned this about how they felt that they will always get another shot at this in the near future. If they're great, they'll come back again, which I think is a terrible excuse because there's no guarantee they will ever show up in that spotlight again. There's no guarantee that they will ever get a role that will be defining as the one they have played in. And to me, there is no guarantee that this girl will ever show up in another film again. There's just no guarantee. And I'm like this: if you're not gonna nominate, if you're not gonna at least nominate these young child actors or actress for any kind of major award in your committee, fine. But can you do me one favor? And I'm asking this for the Academy. Could you bring back the Juvenile Award or reframe the award so that way you have a young actor or young actress award and present to them and present that award to the best young actors who are ages 14 and under. That way, at least you're acknowledging that there are actually some good young child actors, and child actors in the business that's actually really have making a solid impact. For the last 3 years, from True Grit to the Descent to even Beasts of the Southern Wild, we have seen some phenomenal performances from the youngest of actors and actresses. And I think it's about time that we start acknowledging them again. We had an award trophy before with the Juvenile Award. It ran for some time. Shirley Temple was the first. Haley Mills, of course, was the last. But it has been since then been retired. I think it's time that we bring something like that, something similar to that, back into the forefront. Because again, I'm happy she's nominated. I really, really am. I am stunned that she's actually on that list. But to me, I just feel that's just it. She's on that list to be nominated, and I think it's a little bit unfair that you're just going to have it there just to have it there. When in my heart, and I'm just going to say it right now, I believe she should deserve. I believe that she deserved that award. Period. Nothing against Jennifer Lawrence, nothing against Jessica or Naomi Watts. Or the woman from Amar. I think that she alone deserved that award. To me, that is just my opinion, of course, but I do feel strongly about that. And if you're not going to give her to award, you're just going to do it just to acknowledge that. Okay, fine, I'll accept that. But I'm hoping that the Academy Award in the future make up some award to acknowledge the youngest of stars that are up and coming stars. That are really making a strong impact in the movie industry, because I think it's about time that we bring it back. And this Ermely Foe, I think we waited long enough. I think they should make a special trophy just for those stars. If you're not going to give them the trophy for best actor because of their age, then make an award specifically for their age. And acknowledge them for their achievement. The Academy has it for a while. There should be no reason why the Oscars should not have it. So let's move right along because we got a lot of other stuff to know about. Best Actor: Daniel Day-Lewis, Hugh Jackman, Denzel Washington, Bradley Cooper, Quentin Phoenix. Very tough list we have here. I'm just going to throw out right now, I don't think Denzel was going to win it. I'm very happy he was nominated, but I do not think this film was that great. I think that the fact is that you don't have again Leonardo DiCaprio in here. I will say that this is a bad move. You have Denzel Washington here. I don't even think he should be here. That's just my opinion, of course. I didn't think his performance was terrible. I think his performance was great, but it wasn't Oscar worthy. I'm just keeping it real. Daniel Day-Lewis, yes. Hugh Jackman, you can make a case. Bradley Cooper, yes. Quentin Phoenix, yes. And I'm just going to go on the road. It's going to be between either Quentin Phoenix and Daniel Day-Lewis. It wouldn't shock me if Daniel Day-Lewis win it, but I will be more happy if Quentin Phoenix win it. That's just my opinion. Hugh Jackman will probably be third. Bradley Cooper fourth. Denzel Washington will pretty much be non-existent here. Best director. Can somebody please explain to me why Ben Affleck's not nominated? Somebody leave that in the comment section for me, please. Just want to know. Leave in the comment section for me. There should be no reason at all that the Academy Award did not nominate Ben Affleck for his great directorial movie of Argo. I am stunned they didn't nominate him. I'm happy Beast of Certain Wild is nominated. I'm happy that even Omar is nominated. Civil Lions Playbook. I have no problem with that. I'm not even mad at Ann Lee was nominated. Steven Spielberg. I'm not surprised to see his name there. I don't think Lincoln was a great film. I thought it was a good film, but to me, it wasn't his best film. That's just my opinion. But why the hell is this film not nominated? I don't get it. It's definitely one of Ben Affleck's best films, and it makes me worried whether about the next category that's coming up right now, and that's Best Picture. Before I get to that, I might as well just say it now. I think Beast of Certain Wild will win for Best Director. If not, it will definitely be Civil Lions Playbook as a close second. But I think Beast of Certain Wild will win it. That's just my opinion. But again, I'm concerned about that a lot. I really, really am. So let me head to the last list here. Best Picture. We have 9. They once again with the 9 instead of the 10. Don't know why, but hell, fine. You want to do with the 9 instead of 10? That's fine by me. 9 pictures are as followed: Lincoln, Django Unchained, Oracle, Les Miserables, Life of Pi, Silver Line Playbook, Beast of Certain Wild, Zero Dark 30, Argo, and Omar. Repeat this again: Lincoln, Django Unchained, Argo, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Silver Linings Playbook, Beast of Certain Wild, Zero Dark 30, and Omar. I'm gonna tell you right now what movie I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Beast of Certain Wild to win it all. I'm hoping they win for Best Picture. I'm just gonna keep it real. But I will say that Oracle is definitely one of those films that should and may pull it off to win for Best Picture as well. Those are my 2 picks there. I'm rooting for Beast of Certain Wild, but it wouldn't shock me if Oracle wins it. What will shock me if Django Unchained wins. A lot of people is loving this film. I'm going to tell you right now, I liked the movie. I thought the film was fun, entertaining. Typical of Quentin Tarantino. I don't think it's Best Picture quality. Maybe people will disagree with me, that's fine. I just thought the film was a good, fun action film. Way over the top. It definitely was crazy violence. But it's a film that I really did enjoy. Is a film that, despite a lot of people's mixed feelings towards it, which there are a lot of them out there, I didn't take it as seriously as other people did. It's still a good film. It's still a fun film. It's a film that I've yet to do a review on, and with good reasons. I will definitely get to that in a future video. But I don't think it's Best Picture quality. I really didn't see it in that film. Nor did I saw Les Mis. And Les Mis is not a bad film. Les Mis is a very well done film. But is it Best Picture quality? Not really. It's definitely one of those films that I was worried about, and I was happy to say that my worries were definitely resolved very, very quickly once this film finally came out. Civil Lions Playbook is it's a pretty good film. I was a little surprised. I thought the hype was overreactive. But is it strong enough to beat The Certain Wild and Argo? Nope. Zero Dark 30, I think, is the only film that will shock people, and if it does win, my hat's off to it. But I'm telling you right now, the way the politicians are playing with this movie and the way the Academy Awards are with these films, I think the politicians is hurting this film more than helping it. I really do, and I'm hoping that is not going to be the case. I hope this film doesn't get shone because of that. I really don't. I really hope that this film wins because it deserved to win. If it didn't win, it's because the films that won really truly deserved to win, not because the CIA or the Democrats or Republicans are complaining because this film dramatized the torturing of their prisoners because they get to Bin Laden. You may have your feelings about that, but when it comes to politicians interfering in a film, that can hurt the film a lot more than people realize. And I'm hoping that's not the case. A lot of reviewers and a lot of people who have been following this story have voiced their opinion on it, and they pretty much said the same thing, that they are hoping that that does not be the case. You're hoping that the Academy Award have learned not to let influences um, outside of their judgment in terms of picking the best picture. But again, that's remains to be seen. We got plenty of time for that. But I'm going with my picks right now. I am strongly rooting for Beast of Certain Wild, but again, it wouldn't be surprised to me that Argo wins it, and in my opinion, it does deserve to win for Best Picture. I'm hoping that if not, Zero Dark 30 takes it, and after then, you can make a case for Armor, you can make a case for Lincoln, you can make a case for Django Unchained, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Silver Linings Playbook. But to me, the top films that I actually feel that should, and probably would win it are the films I just mentioned. If it's not Beast of Certain Wild, Argo. If it's not Argo, Zero Dark 30, and the list goes down from there. But that's it. That's the Academy in a nutshell. So that's pretty much what the Academy Awards have put out there. And to me, the exception of Ben Affleck not being nominated and Leonardo DiCaprio not being nominated, I'm pretty satisfied with the way the selection were. I'm not mad at the list. Granted, there are some films that I'm not particularly pleased that's in there, but it's not like last year when you had films that should never have been in there. A lot of people was very upset from it. And this year, I think they made it very clear. I think the fans made it very clear: don't nominate a film simply because the critics went googly eyes. Even though when the fact that you had films that had even the most worst of ratings, these films have a very strong rating with the critics. Many fans who have seen this film, especially Argo, actually love these films. Again, I'm actually happy that the youngest actress whose name I can't pronounce because the name is just way out there is nominated. So I don't know why, and it's fine. I don't have a problem with the listing. Again, I don't expect them to put Batman in the Best Picture category. I don't expect them to put The Dark Knight in the Best Picture category. Hell, I don't even expect them to even put Avengers in there in the Best category. That's nearly not their list. And to be fair, those who are mad that Skyfall didn't get nominated, Skyfall got nominated in the areas that, in my opinion, should have got nominated for. Whether they win or not is still a different question, but I think that for the most part, the stuff they acknowledge, with the exception of probably the score, the main theme song, I think that it was deserving. They deserved to get nominated for Best Cinematography. The cinematography in that James Bond movie was excellent. The original score you can make a debate for. The original song you can make the debate for, but there's no debating about the overall thing. They got nominated for their best strength, and their best strength was, in fact, indeed, those three categories. As for Daniel Craig not getting nominated for Best Actor or Best Picture, you know what? One day we may have seen an action film like Skyfall to get nominated. It's not going to happen, especially with the way they run the committee. But for the most part, they did nominate for something. It's only a matter of how they get nominated for, or in this case, win for. So I'm not mad. It's fine. I can live with it. Look, we got the U Review Awards coming up, so it wouldn't shock anyone if they get nominated on that category. So keep in mind. And which, by the way, in case you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, the E.R.U Reviewers Awards is something that a few years ago, Jeremy Johns and the Smones have come together and made this award for the people, by the people. They have their own little panel, and for 2 years they have nominated films that the people have watched. It's not one of those snobby awards. It's a very fun, entertaining award. I've watched it for 2 years, and it's actually kind of fun to watch. And they're doing it again this year. I don't know when they're gonna do the listing, but once they do, I will pretty much do my own little thing about it to help support that, because it's something that's very fun. And again, this is more for actual average moviegoers, and that's something that if you don't like the Oscars, that is something of an alternative, and I actually recommend you guys to check it out. It's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of cool. They're going back to the old format, which is part one in their channel, and the small and the Jeremy Johns channel, part two in the Smalls, part three in Jeremy Johns, and I believe part four of the Smalls, and then they just wrap it up from there. So I'm actually kind of glad they're going back to that format. And again, that's the kind of award ceremony. If you don't like the way how conservative the Academy Awards is, that's the one you want to take a look at least, because you know it's coming from the people who really like to see their movies, the movies that they feel they should have been more recognized to be in there, and they do a good job, and they actually got very interesting and fun categories that actually I enjoy. So if in case the Academy is not up to your tea, there's always that kind of award, the E.R.U Reviewers Award, that will also do it. So there you go. But again, I'm not mad at the Academy. To me, overall, the listing is good. They did a good job. No complaints there. That's pretty much it. I can't really expect any different from there. Again, the movies that I'm a little bit surprised that you can call it a snub, The Masters. I expected a lot more from that film. Session, I really can't say too much. I didn't see the film. But The Masters, definitely a film that I'm a little surprised that gotten less nods than what I thought it deserves. Flight, I'm a little surprised even in this category. I love Denzel Washington, don't get me wrong, but he didn't pull out a performance I expect him to pull out, at least to get that nod. And I'm keeping it real. Leonardo DiCaprio was far better this year in his performance than Denzel Washington was. Not to say Denzel Washington was bad, but you can't tell me that Leonardo DiCaprio in his portrayal of a slave owner in Django Unchained was worse. It was 10 times better, because the film fact is that I did not expect him to play that role, and he played it, and he ran with it, and man did he ran with it. So that's the only gripe I had. There's some nods that shouldn't have been there, versus some people that definitely should have been there but didn't get nominated, especially with Ben Affleck. I don't care what anybody says, there's no excuse for him not being nominated at all. And that makes me worried about the factors that lies between the Best Picture nod, because as you all know, Best Directors and Best Pictures go hand in hand, and so far him not being there made me question whether or not Oracle can actually pull up the Best Picture nod. So there it is. That's my feeling on it. You guys have your own opinion. I'd like to hear from you guys. As usual, leave the comment below. It's been pretty long, but again, there's a lot of stuff I had to cover within that hour time. Sorry about making it this long. I promise you guys it will not be this long. Again, I'll try to keep it under the usual 30 to 40 minute time frame. 30 minutes, no more. Pretty much we'll try and keep it under that. But in this case, I wanted to talk about the Academy Awards. Well, my general feeling of people's complaints of the Academy. There are legitimate complaints, but like I said, it's a conservative award ceremony. Don't expect too much from that to change anytime soon. Well, that wraps everything up. The first new entertainment roundup for the new year. As always, if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, it's J77 saying take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you soon.